this is a critical area moving forward. First of all, the solvency standards that Marc's referring to, Solvency II in Europe, we call principles-based reserving. The process is very much the same. We are actively working with the Academy of Actuaries and with several of the technical committees at the NAIC in conjunction with our technical committees at the IAIS to work in sync with them on establishing a new system of reserving, and it's going to be critically important that the states adopt. But we have in place right now a national solvency standard that each of the states has adopted. It is uniform across the country, so we already operate under a system of uniform standards for solvency. This would be we would be adding to it, and certainly it is the biggest single change in terms of accounting that insurance companies and that the regulatory community has taken up. Basically, the solvency standards that are there now, that are formulaic standards, have been in place since insurance started being regulated back in the 1850s, 1860s. Those original standards really have never been challenged or changed. So I would agree that the Solvency II issue is extremely important. We recognize that. We've had several committees at the NAIC working in conjunction, and some think we're even a little further ahead in our country in terms of getting agreement on principles-based reserving. But we've done it once. We can do it again. We have national standards in place for solvency right now that work quite well, that are uniform across the country. We can do it through our accreditation system.
Governor, how about 1 minute for a rebuttal, and then we'll move on.
What's required is the ability to etch these agreements and these standards in stone. In other words, before there are going to be agreements, trade agreements, focused upon insurance products, you have to be able to give assurance that these agreements or these rules and regulations or adoption of standards, solvency standards, accounting standards, are not built upon shifting sands, and that, in fact, they have some permanence. They have the force of law. And there is no way that that can be done except by individual state legislatures. And I think, frankly, if every commissioner on the planet who is to come or presently serving were of the same capacity and extraordinary and keen intellect and immense goodwill as Commissioner Praeger, perhaps that would be possible. But I would have to tell you that when you take a look at the 138-year history of NAIC, I don't think that unanimity and uniform promulgation of rules has been the expected condition throughout that period of time. And there have been efforts, I know they make every genuine good faith effort, but they're just human beings serving the imperatives, the objectives, and the requirements of their individual states and individual populations, and they cannot speak with a national voice to these particular issues. And so, with all due respect, I just don't know that it's humanly possible to do this by any means other than, as we do with every other part of our trade authority, allowing for there to be a federal voice involved in setting federal policy for the entire United States of America.